This how-to video will walk you through the integration with Kaseya VSA. Before we jump into the setup, let me quickly review the NAC architecture. NAC is agentless and uses ARP enforcement, so the deployment is simple. Strong protection is provided with no network changes or network configurations being required. As an agentless solution, the NAC appliance will log into AV and patch management servers to learn the compliance status of all the devices on the network, and then use this information to assign access based upon policies. Unknown devices will get restricted. Devices that are fully compliant with policies will get full access, and those devices that are non-compliant can be given limited access to the network. So now let's jump into the Kaseya integration. I will start by looking at the status of the clients within the Kaseya VSA solution. And notice this is the server that we're going to be logging into, and these are just our normal credentials. We're going to use the same information when we do the NAC integration. So I'll go ahead and log in. And this is the current patch status of the two devices we have in our little cloud environment. We have a server, and this particular host name is missing 2 approved patches, and we have a desktop that does not have any patches that are missing. So he's fully in compliance there. So let's go ahead and log into the NAC console now. And this is the actual dashboard of the NAC appliance. And what we can see right away is that currently there's 3 devices. All of them have full access to the network. 2 of them are Windows, one is the default gateway. Let's take a closer look at those Windows devices. And we can see these are the same host names that we saw inside of VSA. Both these devices currently have full access to the network. One's a server, one Windows 10. And the reason they have full access, I can click on this Windows 10, for example, and based upon the current policy, it's going through these list of conditions top down. And the first policy match it has is, that is AV managed and AD managed, so it's being assigned full access. Now we're going to later adjust this so that we also look for patch managed. But currently, since we don't have the patch management turned on, we don't have that policy set yet. Now the Windows Server is also set currently for auto. Now let's take a quick look at one of the reports on the patch status. And this is a default report that will basically share with us that currently the appliance sees 2 Windows devices on the network that are not being managed by any patch solution. Now that's accurate in that the appliance is not aware of yet because we haven't done the configuration with Kaseya yet. And so we also don't know what devices are missing patches. Let's go ahead now and turn on this integration. So to do that, we'll just go to the Configuration and Integration tab. Scroll down to the Patch Management section. And we're going to click on Kaseya. And so the first step we do, we click on Enable Integration. And I've configured this before. This host name is the same information that is being used to log into the web console. So you just got to copy that information. And that's the host IP. We're using SSL. And this is our username and credentials for that account. So we'll go ahead and test the connection to make sure that the appliance is able to get out to the internet and log into Kaseya, which it is. Now we support both on-premise as well as cloud. It works the same way. And we're going to check the status of patches every 5 minutes. So that's what this query interval is about. So the checks that are actually being done is what devices are rolled in Kaseya. In other words, which ones have the agents deployed. If they do, they're going to be flagged as patch managed. If they haven't reported back to that server in too long of time, and this is configurable, in this case 7 days, we're going to flag it as patch stale. And if it's missing some approved patches, or they need to be manually applied, they'll be flagged as patch pending. And what I'm going to do is set this down to 1, just so we can trigger a reaction here. And so let me go ahead and make a save to these settings, and that will turn on the actual integration. Now, if I go back to the management console, we can see right away there's been a change. So before there was 3 devices that all had full access. Now there's a device that's non-compliant. If we click on that, we can see it's actually this Windows Server, and it's basically being assigned non-compliant status because we have a policy that says if there's a patch pending, make it non-compliant. So when he's non-compliant, he can't get out to the internet per se or talk to other resources on the network. So if he tried to go out to something like Google, me just go ahead and type that in. He's going to get redirected to our capture portal page and be told what's wrong. Now, with servers, it's not a good idea to necessarily quarantine based upon patch missing. So it's typically a good best practice just to put servers on the whitelist. And so they never get quarantined for being out of compliance per se. Although you can still monitor them. If we go ahead and look back at those reports, we'll be able to see that under the patch management, we don't have any devices that are not being managed by Kaseya. And we do have one device that has patches pending, and we can see it's that same server. He does have full access, so just because he's on the whitelist. And that's kind of how that integration works. Now, let me share with you how you can tighten up security a bit more. If we look at that Windows 10 machine again, it was being assigned full access simply because it was AV managed and AD managed. If we want to tighten this up, we also can make sure that he's also being managed by the patch server. So we'll go to our policies in auto device classification, and we'll just adjust the rules here. So the rule here that he's currently getting is this one here. I'll click on that. And we're going to say that he needs to have all these flags. So it needs to be AD managed, AV managed, and patch managed to be assigned full access. So I'll activate that. And he's still going to have full access because he is patch managed. But note above here, this device would get non-compliant status if he was pending patches or they had failed, or if his AV got turned off. And just one more quick check here. So now he's basically being assigned full access. And the reason he has full access is because he's matching all the conditions that we require for compliance. And that's how the integration with Kaseya works. Thanks for watching.